Hello, this is Samsai again, and welcome to a new game called Quern Undying Thoughts. So as I fairly recently completed Quake 2, and I'm still in the process of uploading those, I figured I would start a new game. And this is one that was released on Steam fairly recently-ish. It really piqued my interest, so I figured I would pick it up and play it a little bit. So I played it on a gamingonlinux.com live stream fairly recently for about 40 minutes or so. And this seems to be a really cool game. It's sort of like Myst-like, if you have played the puzzle game Myst. And yes, this is a puzzle game, so I have no idea how this will go. But I figured I would record this because I'm definitely interested in this game and I want to play through this. And if I decide to record this game afterwards, then I will seem like a genius probably, because I would have figured out all the puzzles by then. So I have played only 40 minutes of this. It seemed cool, but because this is a puzzle game and I am horrendously bad at times when it comes to stuff that requires any kind of thought, so I have no idea how this will go. But hey, let's try it out. Why not? I mean, how bad can it be, really? It can probably be really bad. Anyway, let's just hop into the game. I'm currently running this on fairly low settings. As you can see, the game is fairly heavy. I think this is a Unity game, and obviously I'm playing on Linux, so some of the Unity stuff can be a little bit tough on my rig. But yeah, I'm basically running it on fairly low settings, so it doesn't necessarily look as great as it could. But I think it looks good enough to be recorded. YouTube is going to butcher the quality anyway, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Okay, there we go. So finally the game decided to load, and it's still, I think, sort of getting a hang of itself because it's running at fairly poor frame rate. But yeah, this is basically, I think, using the Unity engine, and it can sometimes be a little bit rough on my system, so it's probably going to run at maybe 20 to 30 FPS. I'm using the open source Radeon driver, so they're not necessarily all that speedy, but hey, what can I do? And I really want to play this game, and hopefully speed isn't really a requirement. I'm just going to make sure that everything is set to fairly low. I think I upped the texture quality, so I'm just going to quickly drop that. I don't think it should matter, but I'm just dropping it for the sake of maximizing the performance of the game. I probably should have a faster GPU for this game, but hey. The R7 370 has been doing a good job so far. So, after some fairly long loading screens and me also having to mess with some of the texture settings to get a little bit more performance out of the game, we're finally ready to start. So, welcome to Quern Undying Thoughts. This is how it starts. It doesn't really explain much, but as it says in the subtitles, or I suppose that's a hint. It basically says that reading letters will help us progress, and that's definitely what we're going to do. So here's a letter, so let's read this.
Welcome. I am Professor William Maythorn. Although I bear responsibility for trapping you in this world, I have no intention of harming you in any way. As a matter of fact, you should consider yourself lucky, for I wish to share all my knowledge with you. I will grant you the opportunity to study all of my discoveries and examine my wondrous creations. Eventually, I will require your assistance in an essential matter. You must cooperate with me, for you have no reason or chance to resist.
So it doesn't really, like, this is just how it begins. That, like, there isn't much backstory here. It just kind of dumps us into this world. We can also go back to our letters if we want to, like, reread these. And also, because I have played about 40 minutes of this, I know a couple of the first, like, puzzles. there's this image here, and we actually do need to be on the lookout for anything like this. Also, this is basically the first sort of beginning puzzle thing. So as you can see, there's a piece here. It's like a quarter of a circle, and as you can see, there's one piece missing here. So this is like the beginning puzzle that sort of explains how puzzles are done. But here's the catch. So as you can see, you would think that the part just goes here like that, but nope. We actually do need to look at this stuff, and we can look behind it. So you can see how there are these pieces here, and you can see how there are these holes here. And we actually need to get those to line up. So we can go here, and we can actually manipulate these. So we can turn these around. And now we need to actually get these in the correct orientation for us to actually plug this thing in. So I'm just looking at how this is basically done. And this has sort of a pattern here. So it kind of, you can sort of see how this is oriented. So I think we need to put these like this, and this one needs to match that. Wait, what am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, I'm being really dumb here. It needs to be... Ah, I missed it. It's supposed to be this way, I think. And it will keep the orientation, so I don't need to actually redo this all the time. So yeah, these need to match like that, so that this is up, and actually this is wrong. This needs to be like up. This needs to be like this. The final part needs to be pointing down. Like that. And now, if we try this again, it fits. I thought that was so cool. Like, that's not just a pick up an item, put it in the right place, and puzzle solved. Also, I didn't point out this. So this is basically where we came in, and it seems like a portal of sorts. We can actually try to operate this. Nothing seems to be happening, and there are like obvious places here for something. Like this has been completely taken out of this. So I'm guessing that this is basically like a Myst world. So in Myst, what you basically had was you could create worlds. Well, you didn't, but some other people could by basically writing books. So I'm guessing that this is a similar kind of deal where basically they have created some sort of a world and we have entered that world for some reason. I don't know why. We have no idea why we're here. We have basically no idea who this guy even is. Like he basically has his name, so he's William Maythorne, some sort of professor. But we have no other idea about this place, what this guy, well, who this guy is, and etc, etc. And yeah, basically the game told us that this is the main square, and we can see that there are many buildings around here. So I have completed basically the first two puzzles that come after this, so I know where I'm supposed to go. But let's just quickly take a look around. I'll show you the place, and we're going to go about doing this the way you would think you go about doing this. So there's a house here, it's closed off, and this here is actually one of the puzzles here. So in order to get this door to open, you can see there's a rope that goes in here and up this all the way there. And what we need to do is this thing needs to go down. But in order to do that, you can actually sort of see, I'm not sure if I can't actually crouch. You can see that there is a hole there. So what we would need to do is we would need to get one of these parts out of there. And I think only this part is the one that is heavy enough to actually pull this down. But we would... Obviously we cannot do much now, because as you can see, gravity actually exists. So we would have to turn this, but we cannot. So this is something that we cannot solve quite yet. However, we have some stuff here. And the game doesn't actually even give you any explanations about the stuff you pick up, so you need to work basically by eye. So this seems like it's... I mean, it could be porridge, but this looks kind of like pine cones or something like that. And we actually do have more of this stuff here. I think you can zoom in. Yes, you can. So you can see that there are like pine cones here, and that's the mortar and a pestle. So they were grounding these up into what I'm guessing is this stuff, more or less. So into fine dust. Let's continue. I can't get in this one, though I suppose you could probably get into this if you had access to behind the building, but we cannot open up this gate at all. So we would have to figure out how to get in there first, and this house is probably going to help us with that a little bit. But yeah, like I said, I've only done a couple of the quests, so like many of the areas I have never actually accessed, and we cannot apparently do anything with this. Yeah, this might also grant us access into this building. Well, it probably is, unless this is some sort of a doorbell. And can we see in there? Nope, it's been boarded up entirely. There's a door here. Obviously we cannot open it, but we do have a couple of crystals here, and obviously this can be operated. It has the gear icon, so this is important at some point. Also, we can actually, like, if I scroll down, I can actually like select items to use like this, but it would seem that our ground up pine cones are not helping us here. So let's continue on. I'm guessing that this is like, I'm going to already tell you that this is where we're supposed to go, but I'm just walking around pretending I'm a newbie, like a total newbie. I'm still a newbie, but I'm definitely not as newbie as I would be if I had just booted up the game. So there's like a wire or a rope leading here, and I'm guessing that the game is sort of telling you to follow that, sort of. But here's another puzzle. So we can move this around, and we can press the button, and that moves these pieces, as you can see. But we obviously don't know the combination. This is basically a combination lock, as you can guess. But if we look at the letters here, we actually have a partial combination. So as you can see, this kind of fits here. It looks like this combination lock, and actually if I press L it will open up the letters immediately. So we can see where two of these pieces are supposed to be, but we don't know the rest of the combination, and I'm not one to start guessing, so we're just going to continue onwards until we have the rest of the combination somewhere. What about this house? Okay, also there is a door down here. Once again, cannot access this, so we likely have to find some sort of a lever or some other piece of machinery that will open that up. And a gear icon. I cannot actually press this one, so maybe it's a doorbell? I'm not sure who would live here. Also, I would like to question this house in particular. I mean, it's up there. How do you access this? Unless it has like some sort of a rope ladder type of thing. But yeah, I'm getting off the I'm getting off the track, so let's actually continue. Let's figure out what the combination to that door is. So this is an area we can access, and that's That looks kind of like the crystals down there, so that might be relevant. And this is a new area, the hanging platform. That we can actually see, and we can operate this. So that gives us a bit of a bridge. Obviously you cannot jump down. This game is fairly limited in the movement, so that you cannot actually jump down, for example. But I do know that that door was around... Like, if we go here, we started off somewhere there, I think. And this is one of the doors that was right next to the door we came in on the central plaza type of thing. So we can likely access this at some point. But we cannot go from here to there. We would have to actually pull down that bridge. And if we can... Like, we would have to access that area before we can actually even get the bridge down. Unless we can somehow lasso it down. In which case, I don't think that lever would be too necessary there. But, hey. So we need to figure out how to get there at some point. And... we have a new item and a letter, so this is some sort of a crystal torch type of thing. We can actually take a look at it. So yeah, it's basically just a piece of wood with some crystals strapped onto it, and these are actually different kinds of crystals than the other ones. We have so far seen the blue ones, and these orange ones might be relevant. So let's check the letter.
When I set foot in this island, I was an enthusiastic archaeologist in search for the remains of an ancient civilization, the Dulmar. In manuscripts, they refer to this place as the Forbidden World. They called it Quern. To simplify it, by the right of the explorer, I gave this island a new name, Quern. I soon realized that this world means much more than an archaeological site, and my interests expanded. To make you understand the extraordinary nature of this island, and to clarify my deeds for you, I left a series of letters around the island.
Well, thanks for that, because, as you can see, this is related to this letter. And this means that we actually now have the full combination of that one door. So the island here is called the Quern, or... yeah, well, it's close enough. My pronunciation is never exactly correct. But I hope that I'm doing a good enough job to actually make this worth watching. Anyway, we can sort of see in there... we can see something, and there's a bridge there. And some other stuff, and there's also something there, something that is glowing. Now we need to take a look at that place once we figured out how to actually access that, because the door is still very much closed and we haven't actually figured out that much. We know the combination to that one door. Is there something else that I need to actually pick up? I cannot access this chest here, and none of this stuff seems to be pick-upable. So yeah, we can see that this has a lock, so we need to find a small key. So if we find a key that is sort of this size, then we need to probably take a look at this chest again. There is a rope with some sort of a hook on the end. Can we pick up something? Nope. But maybe if we had like a bucket. So we need to be on the lookout for a bucket. Maybe there will be something down there. I have no idea. There's water down there. Maybe this guy has hidden something in there, but obviously we don't have a bucket at the moment, so... or anything else. Like, we can try to combine various kinds of items together, but currently none of our 2 items actually work with this thing. But since we have the combination to that door, we might as well check it out. So that will be our next step on our adventure, as the game takes a huge frame drop. Hopefully it's not too distracting. I mean, the game doesn't perform too well. I'm hoping that they make some optimizations. The game is not that old at this point, like I've mentioned. And if this had been some other game other than a puzzle game that I was interested in, I probably wouldn't be playing this quite yet, because I think that you should let games mature and let people play the games before you start making let's plays and stuff of them. But in this case, I'm going to make an exception, yes, because it's a puzzle game and I kind of want to play this. Okay, so the first piece needs to be this way, and the second piece there, and let's go piece by piece, because I don't have the I don't have good enough brains to do all of this. So I'm going to just let's go piece by piece. So the second piece goes there. Okay, it's almost in the right place, but not at all. Can I actually? Oh wait, what is this? Oh, I found a new mode. So this is basically, this allows me to manipulate objects on the screen without turning my whole screen. I think I prefer this for now. So let's move this piece all the way to where it's supposed to be. Sadly, this doesn't turn backwards, so I have to turn it all the way. And the second piece is that the correct place even? Yeah, it's in the correct place. Okay, so we can move on to the fourth piece. And we can actually find it here. So it needs to be down there. So down here, I'm guessing. Yes, very much so. And the second piece is just a little bit onwards. And we have opened the door. Or gate, or whatever. And there is a chest here. Can we take a hammer with us? Nope. Some drawings. This is likely relevant, so we need to keep an eye out for any of this stuff. Actually, this I think might actually be relevant now. So there's a picture of a fish. That's quite obvious here. And then there's a line and hook with one of those pine cones on it. So I'm guessing that these guys like the pine cones. And we actually do have some pine cones here. Like, these are, I'm guessing, pine cones ground up to sort of dust and mixed with the complete pine cones. And we do have a rope and a hook there. I'm not sure if that, I mean, that hook is probably way too big for these fishes, unless these fishes are really big, but it might be relevant. Then there's an obvious drawing of a tree. Yes, there are trees like this all over the place, so not sure if I can get anything out of this, but let's keep it in mind. And then there is a drawing of what I'm guessing is one of these houses, or a house like them. Yeah, let's keep that in mind for future reference. We can actually open up this. And we have found a piece of machinery. Once again, no descriptions of objects, so we need to figure out where this might go ourselves. Luckily, I happen to know where that goes. And none of this other stuff is relevant. I mean, someone has been inspecting the age of some trees around here. Maybe they made the... I mean, there's a bunch of logs here, so maybe this tree that they drew is no longer in existence in anything apart from these logs. Nothing else I can pick up. So, I mean, is this? These are actually. These look like these are rugs, not logs. They look mainly the same. I mean, one can easily make the mistake. But let's go figure out that puzzle that we hiccups that we saw before. So yes, I'm guessing that the drawing in the hut is of this one. And we can now actually figure this puzzle out, because we have this part, and it just so happens to go here. Last time when I played this on stream, I basically tried all over the place for that piece, and I just figured out randomly that it goes here. Now we can actually turn this on its side. I'm not sure why we couldn't do that without this. I mean, you'd think that you could just take hold of the bottom or something like that and turn it on its side. But this actually gives us the ability to solve this puzzle. And it's basically just a moving tiles puzzle. So here we can actually see that this is the hole where the tiles are supposed to come out of, but we cannot get them out while it's in this position. So we need to actually turn it back, because there is this grill here that is just completely blocking our access to it, and you cannot get these tiles out from up here either. I mean, you could probably somehow get, like, if you could move this tile, for example, just half a tile this way, you could probably pick it up from between the grill. But this one is the actual grill tile that matters. So this is made from, like, metal, it would seem. So it's definitely heavy enough to get this to go down, sort of pull the rope. So let's figure out how this actually goes. I'm not really all that great at these kinds of puzzles, so forgive me if I make some obvious errors here. But let's see if I can actually pull this off, considering that I have had some... Did I just go back to the beginning? I might have. Let's see if I can actually get this to move somewhere. If not, I'm just going to do this in... I mean, I can always speed up the video. Luckily, I have the power of editing. But hopefully I can actually do this fairly quickly without resorting to the power of video editing. But I think I might have just actually gotten myself stuck there. This is potentially something. Oh, there we go. Finally, after spending a good time on that puzzle, we have actually figured it out, finally. yeah, definitely needs some editing there, because that was very painful. For some reason, when I first did that on the stream, it was very easy, but now I had a lot of issues. I think I was trying to overcomplicate the whole process.